And welcome to this episode of The Fast Lane. In this episode, we sit down with Chris Korfist, Dan Fichter, and Cal Dietz to discuss special guest, Olympic champion, Cal Dietz.
Gold medalist, Olympic champion.
There we go.
I think that's redundant, though, isn't it?
Kind of.
Did you get your medal yet?
No, not yet. They're shipping it.
It's been a long shipping process.
Oh, well, you just don't print those things, Chris.
It's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
UPS
has it.
Yeah, they're all handmade. And
did you get a shipping order on that one? Did you get a tracking number?
You know what Cal just changed about this? Chris can't even get through his intro. Let's go. Give
That's
the
all
intro.
right.
All right, I'll shut up.
The people are ready. And we're going to talk about speed in the sprint world, how Chris, Dan, and Cal practically solve them and the issues for their athletes. If you like this episode, don't forget to go back, listen to our previous episodes, take notes, and send us questions. Well, gentlemen, it's been about a year since you all braved the heat of Charleston, South Carolina, as we were discussing, both in a gym and both at the front row counter seat of the Waffle House. So let's hope we could bring some of that Waffle House and hot gym magic back as we get rolling. And speaking of the heat, it is about mid-July, and off-seasons, summer training are upon us. So what the people want to know is, what is the burning question in your mind that you are hoping to answer this summer? We're in the off-season. What's the burning question that you have this summer? Dan, we'll start with you. Then we'll go to Cal and Chris.
What's the question that I have?
The burning question.
I don't have any questions. I have a lot of, I think I have too many questions. That's the problem. But what my latest thing is this Weck vest. Has anybody seen it? I know Chris has.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm a fan.
at Uberzati, it's the first time it's the first time I've met David Weck. I don't know about Cal.
Yep.
Chris, I know you've met him. I'm fascinated by this piece of equipment in terms of what it does plyometrically, in terms of that whole. It's not a weight vest, but it also deloads you when you hit the ground, which is incredible. I love it for the return to play part of sports, as you're trying to come from those ISOs into plyometric, and having a lot of success with it. Doing our runs with it, without it, getting a baseline, and I know, Chris, you've had it on the 1080, and just excited about that. And that's bringing me more questions. So that's been fun this off season.
And return to play for any sort of lower body injury, you feel like the vest
Yep.
is helping them get off the ground a little bit quicker. And then could you just describe, all right, so it's a vest and there's weight to it, but there's springs. Can you just briefly describe that, Dan?
Yeah, so the weight isn't significant, but it does add to the equation, right? So it has these little bars in it that are spring loaded. So when you hit the ground, you can auditorily hear the clicking of the weight, and it deloads you upon contact. So as you hit, then it hits. So it's pulling off the ground faster, right? So it allows less force to enter your joints. I love the auditory part of it, because when you go back to Ebony Rio's research on tendons, you have this sound that you can now hear the loading of the spring, and the frontal lobe gets involved, which I love. So,
All right.
And you can hear people coming down the street with that thing on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
I like
Cal,
it for really short primetime runs.
Yeah. Cal, have you been using it?
Yeah. I think it's helping me lose weight too.
Or lose teeth.
Yeah. No, it's the real deal. I think Dan, honestly, it's just one of the other variables is that variable. It's a different feedback loop on your gait cycle, right? Where I think it's just a different stimulus too.
For sure.
And it's just like, because there's some magic there. I'm not going to lie. I believe there's some magic there.
So we were talking, I have a young PT student that that helps out with our football program, and he was talking about, imagine if you could make it rotationally to where you could load the coil and that thing springs out. And I was talking to David, and he's like, yeah, we're going to do that. I'm like, it has so much benefit. My quarterback wore that damn vest during the 7-on-7 tournament. And because he loves it, because as he can make it click, he can time his energy from the ground. Yeah, just lots of different ways to use it. And I'm having fun with it. Yeah.
So, Cal, you could get into your burning question that you're trying to chase after this summer, but you've also talked on a previous podcast where you feel an overspeed sprint with a water bag helps kind of reset somebody's nervous system, their patterns, whatever there. Are you finding something similar with the Weck vest, or have you played around with that?
I haven't tested it. I don't know if Chris has. I do the water bag. It's just a jog, honestly. And people think I train with water bags. I don't. It's one 10 to 15 meter jog is what I've narrowed it down to. And Chris led me onto this, obviously, that it turns on the slings from the lateral sling, the spiral sling, your deep frontal sling. It turns them on. You got muscles. It literally turns them on. Now, do they stay on? No. But for 2 hours, I know you're set. Like you can go on my YouTube page and find you can see the graphs where I had a girl with a broken foot who produced around 50% less power or less than that. And we ran her. She ran for 3 seconds. And when I say ran, I mean 60, 70% jog. And went back to the 1080. And you couldn't tell she had a broken foot when she was running. And people are like, why are you running with a broken foot? Because she had it for 3 years, because she chose to not fix it, right? And I mean, so it's just profound that what a water bag will do. But with David, here's the thing. David's vest is timing. I believe the water bag run is a act of friggin' survival for the body, and that's why it overrides the compensation patterns. That's the only thing I can actually, because like I'm talking, I have broken feet, I have bones out of place, I have highly, like knees that are highly inflamed for people, and they skip with it, and their sling turns back on. So with bruises, everything. So it's crazy, but that's another question. So
speaking of YouTube, the video you posted today with the rotation with the Clark 105 and the pull.
Boys, that was the real deal.
That might be one of the best exercises I've seen on social media.
What is that?
I just posted it on my YouTube page. And
I was you must have just dropped it because I was on YouTube and I posted right away and I almost commented, which I'd never do.
Yeah.
That might be that was one of the best exercises I've seen on YouTube.
So the title of this video is Rotational Change of Direction Banded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to look that up, right? It is when you get in there, if you try it, did you try it, Chris?
Yeah, it's incredible.
It is everyone wants to talk about training the slings. It is hands down the single best sling exercise you will ever see and ever feel. You have to feel it. Now, Chris, I did a banded version and I do an ISO version. Dan, did you look it up? You don't know how to look that shit up, do you?
No. He's got on his yellow glasses, so he can't see yellow.
Is that it?
Actually, he did.
You douchebags.
You found the interweb, old man.
The intraweb. That's what it is. Wow.
So take a look at that. Speaking of slings, take a look at that. And I'm telling you, for change of direction from your toes to your shoulders and hands, and change, it is profound results. Hey, like here's the thing too for me. So many people. Here's a mistake that a lot of people made, and don't forget my question, Chris. But here's some they go into a program and they're terrible at the program because the exercise they've never done, and then they do the exercises. Oh, see how much better they're getting after 2 weeks? Well, you're just getting good at the exercises. It doesn't mean it transfers into speed. You know what I mean? There's. And it's like that's such a fallacy that people assume like, oh, my RDL's going up, so I'm probably getting faster. No, that doesn't mean you're getting faster. It could mean you're getting slower, right? That's a frustrating thing where people, but what I'm telling you, this exercise, when I started that, people's transition and change of direction, I could see it change after 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, it's got to, just because of the torque that you put on the system to make that turn and actually initiate everything through the chain. It's, I think when you do your Clarks, the way you've got the pads, I
Yep.
think that's greatly underrated in the exercise world.
Yep, the
Like,
Clark 105. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good at standing feet side by side when really you're in that split position a lot more in sport than you are with your feet right next to each other.
Yeah, we don't do one thing with our feet next to each other.
Who's got the cats?
Me, he wants to go out.
You admitted on national broadcast that you have cats.
I have one cat. One cat.
One
National
cat
broadcast.
I don't even know
turns
you.
into multiple cats.
Yeah.
All right, so Cal,
I
what's
don't even know
the
you.
burning question in your mind for this summer you're hoping to answer?
Well, obviously the big thing is just finding why people compensate, but in how the compensations are pretty profound, right? Like I have found that the talus bone and the cuboid bone, when they're out of place, I've seen muscles all the way up to the shoulder shut off, and I've tracked it. And then so the point is like, and you can see it when people run, and you don't know why there's this problem, but
It just is.
it just is, right? And it's never, it's not it's not always, Chris, as you know, hockey players, they may have, everything may shut off if they got a puck in the knee area or the quad, right, all the way up that sling, or in the IT band, whatever. But with that being said, for example, that isometric, the what would we just call it, the rotational,
Yeah, you're the king of naming
Yeah,
things.
you named it. How do you
I
not know
know.
it?
Call it the
Rotation-
Duluth. Call it the Duluth.
Rotational change of direction bandage.
Duluth.
Yeah, the rotational change of direction isometric. When you do the isometric one, it is a reprogramming for those slings. Absolutely. So, but and ultimately, when you come back to it, you see a deficit in the 1080 in my gym, those slings are off. If it's a big deficit, those slings are off every time. And then the burning question is, how many things are tied to that sling? Any type of pain, foot bones being out of place, talus, cuboid, the cuneiform, right? So and then it goes all the way back up to the Chris, it's the semi-capitis extensor in the neck, right?
Yeah.
Is that the right?
Yeah.
Origin is it? No, the origin or the insertions is C4 through C7, as Chris had pointed out. But that muscle being off will affect all the way down. And honestly, as Chris says in our level 3 course of RPR, it is profound the effects that muscle has on the hamstring. And like I get people that come in and visit and have hamstring problems. Chris, that's their fix 90% of the time. Eventually it gets up to that point. So I guess my burning question is, how many things are tied to these slings? And then the overarching aspect of these slings, how they cross over each other, and then when do they affect each other negatively? I'm getting to a lot of the bottom of a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
But
And
it's
then-
hard in my environment because like my athletes do RPR almost every day. Well, they do it every day on themselves, right? And I dropped warm-ups. I don't do warm-ups. I'm over 200,000 workouts without warm-ups now, right, in my gym. I think people may have read that, but they walk in, they do RPR, they do a water bag run, they do a one go drill, and then we go sprint, and that's it. That's what we do. So 4.5 minutes in, you're sprinting in my gym, but so it is a little bit hard. I have to take the newbies and the freshmen and figure out all their slings and what's bad. So that's what I'm working on this summer. It's pretty terrifying how everything's tied together once you really actually muscle test each muscle along all these slings that all these guys have talked about, like Thomas Myers and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm. And then, Cal, are you getting each of these athletes on a table testing things, or are you
Yep.
looking at the 1080 data first and
No.
then testing?
No, well, the way it works, if I see something, just in any movement, right, in any screening, like when I see an exercise and something's not moving, I don't coach them to get better. I figure out what sling or what problem they're moving that way.
Mhm.
And then if there's a deficit in a 1080 when they just do their normal training, my interns are trained to flag it, go, okay, there's a major problem in this guy right to left ratio. And then they come see me and I figure out what's going on. And it's not
Okay.
usually hard. These slings are off. Now, it's not always the slings are off and that's why there's a problem. But what turned the slings off is the real question,
Yes.
right?
That makes sense. Chris, you've been incredibly patient. What is your burning question in your mind you're hoping to answer this summer?
How on Saturday night my window wells filled with water and exploded through my windows to flood my basement.
Time to leave Chicago. That's what it sounds
Maybe.
like. Yeah.
Maybe. I have 2 mega sump pumps to never flood, except if the water comes bursting through the windows like a horror movie.
Sounds like the Titanic.
It was a little like the Titanic, and I was home alone. Not that my wife would do anything to help. She would just mock me. But that was a 2-day event.
Okay.
But
Couldn't
Chris is
string it out a
coming
week?
to New York. He's coming to New York.
But after that, my burning question is, how am I going to improve my ratios of force on my 1080 runs? I'm good out to about 3 steps, but I've got to get better at getting people to continue that horizontal drive, steps 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Mhm.
That's what I'm working on this summer.
All right.